Hi everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. Today it's time for me to do my December monthly budget. So what's special about December is that I get 3 paychecks this month instead of my normal 2. So why did I just put 3 numbers in? So I'm very excited to do this. I love magic months. That's what we call the 3 payday months because it gives me a little bit of extra money, but I also hate them because it takes me so long to figure out where I want to put the extra money. I want to make sure the extra money goes to things that I actually need and it's not just spent willy-nilly, but I also want to give myself kind of a break in the month of December. So I'm doing 12-week years. I've started doing that in the beginning of 2024, and I'm going back to that. I just finished my last quarter. That will be at the end of November. So we're going to get ready for December. December is going to be a break month, so I'm going to do things a little bit differently this month, and I'm going to show you guys what my kind of plan is. So the first thing that I want to do is open up to the bills that we have for the month. Here we are. So I've already set this up. I think I set this up early November. So I know where all of the bills lie. This calendar was very important for the month of December because, again, I'm getting paid 3 times this month, but I want to make sure that all the bills are still noted because some of the bills I will have to pay twice. For example, Amazon and Netflix. So they're due. The first paycheck is on the 2nd. So they're going to be due that paycheck, but they're also going to be due on this last paycheck because that paycheck will cover from the 30th all the way until January 12th. So it's going to be due again. That's why this calendar was so important for this month. So as far as monthly goals go, that's the next thing that I want to go over. To finalize my school schedule, hopefully by the end of December, I have my schedule for school. I'm still waiting for the FAFSA. So that's kind of a tentative goal. Second one is to set up my new planner. So I've finally decided on my planning system. I've ordered it and I'm just waiting for it to come so I can show you guys what I've decided on and how I'm going to set it up for the year. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole year or just the first quarter. We'll see. And set up 2025 important dates. That's not really a goal. That's just a to-do list thing. And finish my Christmas sinking fund. So my sinking fund goal for Christmas was to add $660 more. But I think I've raised that a little bit. Since we're going to get paid 3 times in the month of December, I'm going to put a little bit more in there than I planned at first. So let's go ahead and get into setting up the budget. I'll put this to the side. All right, so bear with me through this budget. This one's a little bit different. So like I said, we're going to get paid 3 times in the month of December. So this is our December monthly projection. Of course, I do not know for sure how much each paycheck will be. So we're going to do an estimate. It's hard for me to do an estimate on the 3rd paycheck because I have no idea how much overtime I'm going to have in that paycheck. But for the other 2, I'll show you. December monthly budget will run from December 1st all the way until January 12th. That looks like lucky for some reason. So the first paycheck, that's gonna run for me from December 1st all the way to December 15th. And that's paycheck number 1. I'm not doing A and B. I'm doing 1, 2, and 3. It's just easier for me to break the paychecks down one by one instead of just doing a monthly budget for December because it has to be a little bit more specific. That paycheck, I'm going to estimate that one to be, thanks to a whole lot of overtime, even on weekends, $1,850. And then number 2, don't ask me why that's backward. It just is. December 16th through the 24th. Right through Christmas Eve. And again, more overtime. That one's, I'm estimating it to be $1,825. And number 3, I have no idea how much overtime I will have done within that one because it's ongoing. So I'm going to estimate that one's going to be our normal roundabout $1,675. That's going to run me from, that's not right. That date can't be right. That's not right. Number 2 is going to run me from the 16th through the 29th. I knew that wasn't right. Okay, 16th through the 29th, and this is going to run me from the 30th through January 12th. Okay, That's more like it. So the things that will affect my budget, I always like to note that on the side before I get started so that I can remember. I'm just going to note that this is clearly a magic month. So that's going to affect my budget because hopefully I'll be able to save more. I need to repay my emergency fund because I used $281. And I use that because for retirement, they are allowing me to purchase the first couple months of when I got hired onto the new position, when I started with this, whatever, they're allowing me to purchase more time to go towards my retirement. So I didn't notice that went up every month. Like if I didn't pay for it, it gains interest. So when I just called and talked to them, they said to pay it as soon as possible if I want to use it because it's going to keep going up. So I just paid that off and we're going to pay that back in the month of December, which is perfect because we'll have a little bit more to save. So that'll work out. So I can get that back up to the $5,000 in the emergency fund. Also pretty obvious, we have our Christmas vacation. So we have to add that into the budget. And I also have life insurance. It's going to be due at the beginning of January, so I got to make sure I pay that. It's only $12 per quarter, so I just wanted to make sure I add that in there. I think that's it for the month of December. Let's get started. This one will be a little bit tricky. So let's do paycheck 1 over here, paycheck 2 here, and 3 here. I don't think I'll be able to do a big breakdown here, but we'll see. So for paycheck 1, we estimated that we're going to have $18.50 for the paycheck. And of course, we know the first thing that comes out is my $175 for savings. It's my automatic savings. All right, that's going to bring us down to $16.75 for this paycheck. All right, and in paycheck 2, $18.25, we're going to add the money that I will expect to have had by the second paycheck of December. So I've already determined that I want to save, let's see, where's my December? Where's my Christmas budget? All right, so I've already done the math, and for Christmas vacation, my new goal is $1,200. We've already spent $330 for the hotel, and we did get a little refund. So I have, because the hotel that we picked now was cheaper than the one that we had at first. So we have a little refund credit on Discover. $350 is my budget for food, and I've determined that by Google says to do $30 per person per meal per night. That's how you figure out how much. I decided to do about 20. So if we did $20 a night, $20 per meal, and there's 2 people, we're 3 meals and 3 nights, 360. So I just rounded that down to $350. $120 for gas. We're estimating $50 for parking. Tolls will probably be more, but we'll worry about that when we come back. Gifts and souvenir, $25. $200 for entertainment, $75 for shopping, and $50 for miscellaneous. That's the overall budget that I'm hoping to go for. And then this is how I got the $777. So for Christmas vacation, like I said, we already paid for the hotel. We have $610 that we have existing saved. That's after we paid for the hotel. Then we have that $74 credit on Discover because I got a refund from the difference of the hotels. That leaves us with $86. So we're going to save $93 in this first paycheck, and that'll bring us to $777. Like I said, here, let me show you how I did the math. $610 existing plus that $74 credit plus the $93 from December 1, $777. Right? So that's how I'm adding that savings to the second paycheck because that's when we're going to use it. So I have to make sure that my beginning budget matches what I spent. So for those of you that are new, I'm adding the money that we've saved to the second paycheck because I know that I'm going to spend money. If I did not add it in the beginning, I'm going to wonder where that $777 that I spent, where it came from. So that's why I do that. And then for the last paycheck, December 3rd, we said we're going to estimate $16.75, right? Okay, so $16.75 minus that $175 savings. It's going to bring us down to $1,500, all right? And then we got to subtract the autosave from there too. Brings us to $24.27. All right, so that's what we have to start with after our automatic savings. So we're going to focus on the first paycheck first. All right, first things first. So here for our bills. So we have to pay, I already know this, I figured out on the side, $723 for fixed expenses for the first paycheck. That leaves us with $952 left. So in the first paycheck, I'll do this down here. The fixed expenses will be, based on my calendar, I know we have $10 left for Klarna and Paycheck 1 and 2, after $20 total. $117 for car insurance, $8 for Amazon, $8 for Netflix, $200 for utilities, $60 for phone, and $24 allowance. And then we're gonna separate mortgage by 3 instead of our normal 2. So it's gonna be $300 for 1/3 of the mortgage, right? So that should be $723. Yep, that zeroes that out, okay? So now we're down to $952. The next thing that always comes out is my variable expenses. So for variable expenses, I'll show you what those are. It's just going to be $325. That's normal. We're keeping that the same. It's going to bring us to $627. So for variable expenses, I already know $50 is for gas and $275 is for groceries and toiletries, right? So we're down to $627. The next thing that's going to come out, now this is something that is going to change, is our cash envelopes. So the normal cash envelope is $250, right? So normally I budget $250 for cash that I will have that will last me for the 2 weeks. But I wanted to give it 50% more this time, since the paychecks will be a little bit more, and it's a magic month and it's a break month. So I'm giving myself a little bit more money. So a third of 250, or sorry, 50% more of 250 is $125. So we're going to put $375 in the cash envelopes. And I'm only going to show you that for one of these, because we're going to do the same thing each paycheck. All right, so I wrote down the categories here. We're going to put 50% more in each of these. So personal, instead of it's 100, it's going to get 150. Dining usually gets 80. It's going to get 120. Entertainment, I'm going to skip down here, usually gets 20. It's going to get 30. Miscellaneous normally gets 15. It's going to get, let's see. Let's keep miscellaneous at 15. See what we have left. All right, and we have $60 left. I want to give, let's do 20 to each. How about that? All right, and that's what we're going to do for every paycheck that month. So let's just make sure the math adds up. 375 minus 150, 120, 20, 20, 20, 30, 15. All right. All right, 252 is what's left. And we know that we already have to give $93 to our Christmas sinking fund in order to make our goal. That brings us to $159. So that, of course, is all going to go to our sinking funds / savings. Now, I don't know for sure what I'm going to save for each of these paychecks. So I'm just going to leave that general $159 as extra, because I haven't determined what I want to put each of these in yet. All right, so let's move on to paycheck 2. We'll keep that nice and simple for now. We're at $24.27. All right, for this paycheck, we're going to take out, let's see, only $403 for fixed expenses. That's because less bills are due in the middle of the month. That brings us down to $20.24. All right, for the fixed expenses this time, it's going to be that $10 for Klarna, $20 for allowance, $300 for mortgage, $8 for YouTube. I thought it was $9, but it's $8. And $12 for life insurance. I think there's $53 extra. Let me see. Yeah, there's $53 extra. Normally, I budget more for the bills, but since we're doing it by paycheck, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So let's move fixed expenses down to $350. Thank God for erasable pens. All right, that brings us down to $20.77. All right, next thing that's going to come out is our variable expenses. We're going to put $325 aside for variable expenses. All right, $752. Next thing that comes out is our cash envelopes. We're going to put that normal $375 that we said before. And that's $13.77. Then we got to take that $93 that we're going to save for Christmas. Brings us to $12.84. And of course, we got to take that $777 from our Christmas sinking fund because that's when we're going to spend it. That leaves us with $507 for savings and sinking funds. Woohoo! Yay, confetti. That's the most ever. Like a long time. All right, $1,500 for paycheck number 3. All right, so paycheck number 3 is a little bit different. It's a little less to work with. For the fixed expenses for this paycheck, we're gonna save $552 for our fixed expenses. And I'll show you what those are, of course. That brings us down to $948. So for the fixed expenses for paycheck 3, that's gonna give us $300 for mortgage. Let's see, $117 again for the car insurance. We're gonna be due again. $87 for internet, $8 for Amazon, $8 for Netflix, $20 for allowance. And I know what it was. I thought I was going to pay life insurance with the last one, and I decided to pay it with the second one instead. I'd rather pay it early than for some reason there to be a delay. It's due at the beginning of January, so bet I have $12 extra. Yep, I do. All right, so we're gonna change this to $540. All right. $960. All right, and we know the routine. Next thing that comes out is our $325 for our variable expenses. That's $635 left. Then we're doing our cash envelopes. $375. That brings us down to $260. We're going to use for sinking funds and savings. Down to $0. All right, so I did most of this off camera because I just wanted to figure it out. But I am not for sure where I want this extra money to come from. So let's see what we'd have total for sinking funds and savings. Let's see. We're going to have 159 paycheck number 1, 507 for the paycheck number 2, and then 260. 926 extra dollars. Okay, and the reason I haven't decided where I want to put this 926 yet is because after I do my back to the bank, which means I take all of my savings that I already have in these binders back to the bank and determine how much I have from Sofi interest and all that good stuff, I'll be able to tell what needs money more than what doesn't. So I want to make sure they go to the right savings accounts, to the ones that are a priority for me. So once we figure out our 2025 plan, I'll figure out what my priorities are and where I want the bulk of my money to go to every pay period. And then we'll decide, where that money is going to go. All right, that's it for me for the month of December. I think I'm going to continue with trying to get the minimum amount of steps. I haven't decided if I'm going to track my cash. That might be a break that I give myself to. I'm still going to be filming on YouTube for the month of December. I might not be filming in the month of January because a lot of changes are happening at the beginning of the year. But I'm definitely going to give myself a break with having a little bit of extra cash in my wallet to play with, to try to prevent, burnout. And, my money is my money. So I want to be able to enjoy it some of the time. All right, that's it for me today. Thank you so much. I always appreciate you watching. I want you to always remember, well, before you go, question of the day is, what's your biggest priority as far as savings goes for the year of 2025? For me, big ones I already know are going to be my daughter's savings for her graduation and our vacation trip next year. Those are going to be some of my biggest priorities since the emergency fund is going to be done by the end of this year. All right, thanks so much, everybody. If you watched all the way to the end, leave me a graduation cap. All right, thanks for watching and happy saving. Bye.